Writing a book entitled Satiety per Calorie that's supposed to be this giant overview of how successful diets work in general. And then I'm working with the guys at DietDoctor, Dr. Andreas Einfeld. DietDoctor spun off this new company called Hava, Hava, and we're building an app and a system and a product that's basically looking at satiety per calorie and helping people evaluate their dietary quality for satiety per calorie and then possibly tweak that upwards a little bit. So the goal is to, eat to satiety and automatically eat a little bit less calories. If you look at the Adventist health studies, you take the vegetarian Adventists and the pescatarian Adventists, and they have better outcomes if they're eating fish. So it can't just be elimination of meat, right? So it would be a mistake to say, well, eat less meat, you're going to live longer. No, I think you nailed it. I mean, they're living in these mountainous regions with just very high step counts, very high activity levels, lots of social connection, a lot of purpose, a lot of just built-in happiness with quality of life. And then on the diet side, they're mostly just eating real food, some sort of local, seasonal, real food, and not basically Twinkies or whatever. And so you're right. It is this nice little combination of factors. There are certain factors that are at play, but there's no one particular pattern that anybody has to eat. There's no one, which really fits all of our scientific data where, low fat works, low carb works, high protein works, paleo works, Mediterranean works, higher fiber works, lower energy density works. These all work, and it's kind of liberating because you don't have to religiously or dogmatically follow any of these things, and you can kind of zoom out and look at the big picture. And then you can also look at even beyond diet into exercise factors and lifestyle factors and other things, and you have so many levers available to you. You can kind of pick and choose which ones you want to focus on, or maybe a little bit of all of them. I wrote this book, The PE Diet, just looking at protein percent, and it's the single most powerful metric when it comes to ad lib caloric intake for like humans, animals, or anything else. And so protein is this giant big deal. But what I realized is that if you look at different populations and different outcomes, you don't have to eat a high protein percent diet to be successful. It's just like plants versus animals. There are plenty of groups out there, the Okinawan and the Samane, and all these groups are eating, 12% protein, 15% protein, great outcomes because they're pulling other levers that are also powerful, like lower energy density foods and higher ratio of fiber to non-fiber carbohydrate. And they're basically doing other things that improve satiety per calorie and nutritional density versus caloric density. And so protein is just one of these levers. It happens to be the biggest one, it happens to be my favorite one. I'm super biased, and I wrote a whole book about it. I've basically come to this place where there are so many different levers you can pull and you look at and focus on. And what you want to do is be aware of all of them and pull all of them a little bit and pick and choose. And you get to do whatever you want, kind of, as long as the area under the curve with all the levers you're pulling is sufficient. And it's very liberating. And that's something I really changed my mind on. It's like you don't have to focus on just protein. You don't have to focus on just plants or animals. You don't have to focus on just carbs or fats. You can just kind of step back and look at all of these together, kind of integrate them all. You know what I mean? Still recommend, while there are many factors that influence satiety per calorie and basically the ad lib caloric intake of people, you still want to prioritize protein because you want the highest lean mass at the lowest fat mass. That's your ultimate goal, and so you want as much bone and muscle as you can get. And so I still love protein. I still focus on protein. I still think that's the biggest pillar of all. And in satiety per calorie, I am also focusing on protein as the most important lever. It's the biggest one, the most powerful one. And for overall body composition, the one people should be looking at the most. And so, yes, I'm absolutely still all about the protein. I've just kind of broadened my view a little bit where that doesn't have to be the only thing you focus on.